Hey guys, my name is Beverly and I want to come on here and do another pregnancy update. This one is going to cover everything that happened in weeks 32 and 33. So at my 32-week OB appointment, because I'm going every 2 weeks now, they did the growth ultrasound, which typically is your last ultrasound is what they had told me. And so for the growth ultrasound, they look at basically has his or her ideal weight, the measurement of the head, and how far along they are, basically aligned with you. So if they're a little behind, they're right on schedule, or they're a little ahead is what I took from that. So at that point, they projected that his weight was 4 pounds and 10 ounces. His head was in the average size. I don't remember. I didn't write it down. But they said it was within the average percentile. And that as far as projected days, he was in the 69 percentile as far as size, which meant he was 6 days ahead. So instead of being 32 weeks and a half at that point, I was measuring, according to him, 33 and a half. So he might come early, I'm not sure. But anyways, beside that, they did basically all the normal OB appointment stuff they have to do every single time. They do usually a urine sample for like lab work to test all your levels. They'll do like my blood pressure, my weight, the heart rate of the baby, which is always in the normal. I think they said between 110 and 160 is what they like to kind of see it in between. And it's always been like 130s, 140s, maybe like 150 at the highest that I remember. It's always in the normal range, so that's always good. So that's pretty much it for like the OB appointment. It was pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, we went in to do like the ultrasound in one part, and then you go back out into like the waiting room, and then they call you back again to do like the OB part, where you actually see your doctor and they do like all the medical stuff, like the blood pressure, the weight, the heart rate, everything like that. So, and my husband went with me, of course, for the ultrasound, so he wanted to see that. So that was great to have him there at the appointment too. Also, before I left the OB appointment, my regular doctor, the OB that I always see, of course, she asked me if I wanted to rotate the doctors to kind of see them, get familiar with them, at least like know who they are and meet them for an appointment, just in case if I was to deliver and she would not be there at the hospital. So I said yes. At that point, I had only seen her. Like I said, I was 32 weeks, so. And I said yes, so I went ahead and scheduled my next 3 appointments, I believe, and 2 of those were with other doctors, and then 1 was with her, like the very last one toward the end, of course. So that was good that I went ahead and made those appointments. I'm not a type of person that likes a lot of change, so I really wanted to stay with her like every single appointment if I could. But I understand that realistically, like, she's not going to always be there at the hospital or on call or anything, so if I was to deliver and she wasn't there, like, at least I know who they are, and they somewhat know me, even if they don't remember. Like, I would know that I've seen them before, and maybe feel like a little bit more comfortable when I'm at the hospital delivering. So that was nice too. So like I said, that's pretty much it for the doctor's appointment. It went really well, which is great. It's always nice to leave there feeling good. So far, every appointment I've had, like, everything is in the normal range for myself, the baby. Nothing has came back like negative or like really high or really low. So it's always like a comforting feeling knowing everything is exactly how it should be. So besides that, in week 32, that's pretty much when I started to notice that after work, when I would come home, like I would have swollen like feet around my ankles and area. And so she told me about getting compression socks, which I think I had bought 1 pair at that point, but I wasn't wearing them a lot just because I felt like I didn't need them. But when I would come home from work and like I would change clothes and everything, I would notice that like my feet and ankles were starting to get swollen. Like, it wasn't anything like dramatic, like I was worried about it. I just, you just started to notice it just then a little bit because I had been on my feet all day at work, or, most of the hours on my feet. So I always try to just lay down on the bed and elevate it. So if you're laying flat, they say to elevate your legs like higher than your heart. So if you're laying flat on your bed, like I would just put like a really big pillow under my feet to elevate it. Or if I'm laying on the couch, I would do the same thing, like put a really big cushion underneath my feet to elevate it and just lay flat. And I would do that for like 30 minutes, an hour maybe, just to kind of relax. And then I would notice that it went away pretty shortly right after that. So I'm trying to do that like every day after work, or on days that I'm like running around doing a bunch of stuff, or, for some reason my feet just get swollen. after that, unfortunately that week I did get some kind of cold. I'm not sure. I didn't go to the doctor because it wasn't bad or anything. I just took some over-the-counter stuff that I made sure that I was okay to take. I did call the OB office. My husband had got really sick, like some kind of cold, not a flu, but like just allergies or something like that. And so I think I caught it from him because he had had it for a few days. And of course I'm around him all the time, so I got it. I didn't have any kind of like body pains or body aches, but I had a slight fever, and I just felt like lower energy, and like my head felt like really congested, like my ears, my nose. I was like coughing, like my throat was bothering me. So it was mostly just like my head area, like a head cold. And that lasted for a few days, of course. Like it takes a while to get out of your system, but I took a bunch of vitamin C's. I took some over-the-counter medicine, tried to like really hydrate myself. And because I was sick, I think I got it like on a Tuesday or Wednesday is when I started to really like feel like the symptoms of just not feeling myself and not feeling good. And so I worked out Monday like normal, and then I took the rest of the week off just because I wanted my body to have extra time to rest, to heal, and I didn't want to like wear myself down knowing that I'm getting sick or I was sick, and of course being pregnant, like I thought maybe it might take longer to kind of get over it. So I took the rest of the week off from the gym. But I was still going to work and still doing all my other stuff, but of course, you know, just doing it at a slower pace and not doing anything I didn't have to do necessarily, and just trying to be smart about it. But yeah, and so thankfully I started to get better toward the weekend, which happened at a great time because the friend that is getting married in January, shortly after I'm due, I'm in her wedding party, so I'm one of the bridesmaids. And she had her bachelorette that weekend, like the same week that I did not feel good. She had it on a Saturday night, and we were all supposed to go spend the night. It was co-ed, which was nice. So her fiance and the guys were there, and then us and all the girls were there and things like that. And so my husband got to go. Yeah, so my husband got to go, which was nice. That way I don't have to worry about driving, or if I didn't feel good or something like that, at least I had him to go to. And of course, like everybody kind of went out drinking and having a good time, and I went like just out to be social and just be a part of the group for a little while. But shortly after, like I came back to the hotel, got a shower, went to bed, and just kind of relaxed, which was nice because I think it was already like midnight, so I did stay out pretty late. But of course I was just drinking water and talking to everybody and just having a good time. But everybody else was kind of drinking and just kind of like doing normal bachelorette stuff, so it's hard to kind of be a part of it if you're pregnant, but I did contribute, and we went out to eat, and I just felt like I wanted to be a part of it for her, to support my friend. Yeah, just to support her and to be there with her and her fiance and all the rest of the bridal party. So I did have a really good time, but of course it is different being pregnant at a bachelorette party. So anyways, after that, we spent the night, of course, at the hotel with everybody, and then we came home. So I did start to organize all the gifts that we got from the baby shower. And so I had it in another room in our house, in the office, just so I could kind of contain it and shut the door and not have to look at it all the time, because it was still in like the bags, and some of the stuff was kind of just like put into bigger bags or put into like just anywhere, basically. That way we didn't have to have it like out in our way like every single day until I could go through with it. But anyway, so I started to organize that and go through it. I did move it into the nursery room for him. And so I kind of organized it, like put all the clothes in a pile, put all like the blanket stuff in a pile, burp cloths, everything that had to be like pretty much washed, like laundry type stuff. I just kind of separated it into piles in the crib. And then things that were like toys, or like shoes, or like books, or like the diapers, and then the wipes. Like I just basically like organized the whole room. So it had a ton of stuff in there, but it was like piled of stuff, just so I kind of could visually see what I had and kind of see what else do we need to get, or like maybe we had a ton of clothes and like, you know, newborns or 3 months or whatever, and kind of see how everything was. And just that way I could kind of realize how to organize it, because at that point I had not put anything in like drawers or the closet hung up, and I wanted to wait to wash it to kind of, like I said, see what all we had and to kind of just go from there. So that took a lot longer than I thought, just because it just took a lot of time to like untag everything and take like the stickers, and out of the bags and like make sure I had everything, and then organize it into like size. So I did like newborn, you know, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, all the way. I think we got, the oldest was like 9 to 12 months. So I organized it by size, and then organized like the shoe pile, like the blanket pile, the burp cloth, the crib sheets, like toys, car seat stuff, bottle stuff, like, you know what I mean, like every little category that I could think of that I needed to separate. That took me like a few hours alone in the nursery, just sitting there and like going through all that. So it took a lot longer than I thought, but I'm really glad that I did do it, because I had been sitting there for like a week or two. So anyway, so that kind of helped me kind of like visually kind of start thinking of the nursery, like how did I want it to look, or what kind of furniture, or like what kind of decorations do I want, and like I said, what else do we need to buy for him, actually, like clothes and like anything else that we needed to get for him still. So that was the end of week 32, which was really exciting. Now that I'm going like every 2 weeks to a doctor's appointment, which it seems like before I know it, I'm like, oh, there's another doctor's appointment. So 2 weeks seemed to go by really, really fast, a lot faster than 4 weeks where I was going before I got to the 3rd trimester. So anyway, so everything was good in that week. Thankfully, I started to feel a lot better with the cold, or like head cold or sinuses, whatever it was that I had by the end of that week. So for week 33, of course, I did not have a doctor's appointment, so there wasn't a lot that happened. But I did more organizing in the nursery. I think that really started like me thinking like closet-wise, because my husband had at that point still using the closet for his clothes and his shoes and all of his stuff in the guest room closet. And so I had to go through all of, kind of like take his stuff out, and he organized like what he wanted to keep and where he was going to put his other stuff. That way I could hang up all of the baby's clothes. And so I kind of got to hang them up, had to get baby hangers, that was another thing. And just organize everything. I got kind of like pull out drawers to organize them all. That way I could put all the little stuff in something, because some of the stuff is like so small that you don't need to put it in like a dresser drawer. I bought like the little, I don't know, they're like this tall, and they're like, they pull out like a regular drawer, but they're plastic. I just got them at Target to organize like smaller stuff like books, pacifiers, some smaller toys that I know he's not going to use for a while. Just like other random stuff that people got us. I don't even know, just like little random things basically I put in there, and some shoes too, because they're so small, I put them in there. Anyway, so of course that's week 33. I did more organizing in the nursery, like all the shower gifts, and started to kind of all do all that. And then my husband, we got a lot of stuff in the mail where people could not come to the shower. Either they live really far away, or for whatever reason they just weren't able to make the day of the shower, which I understand. They still sent us like a gift, or like I said, people that live really far away, they just mailed it to us like Amazon Prime, or you know, whatever Target where we registered at. And so we had a ton of boxes that we had not opened yet in the office where all the other gifts were. So once I went through all the gifts from the shower and kind of organized that and put it in the nursery, I had asked him on his day off if he could open up all the boxes. So somebody got us like a car seat and a stroller that was in a huge box. Someone got us a chair, like a rocker, recliner, and swivel. It's all in one for the nursery, like a nursery chair. And then somebody got us like a playpen. Somebody got us, it's kind of like, somebody got us a bassinet as well. And then someone got us, it's kind of like a bassinet, but it's really, really low to the ground. It's called a rock and soothe sleeper. So it looks like a bassinet, but it's something that you put in like the living room or something. The way it kind of moves side to side, where they can sit in it and they can see you and you can see them. Or if they're, you know, take a nap or they're sleeping, you could put them in it as well. And just, I don't know, we had just a ton of boxes. So I asked him to open all that up, to go through it, to kind of figure it out. And so that was his job. Like, I went through the nursery, he went through all the boxes and got rid of them and kind of figured all like the gadget type stuff out. And so also that week, which it was kind of a rough week for me, one night I was going through the nursery, just sitting in the rocker chair that somebody got us, which is very, very comfortable and very nice. I love that chair. But I was sitting in there, and I noticed like my lower back got like really, really sore and tight, because I was sitting in it, like just like reaching in front of me, going through all the stuff. And I was trying to like wash the baby clothes and all the socks and sheets, and like there's just so much stuff you have to wash. So I was kind of organizing it more how I wanted to wash it. And I noticed that my lower back started to get really sore, like kind of like an ache feeling. And I have a bad back in general. Like my back has given me problems, like I've had herniated disc, and just I've pulled muscles in my back, and I've thrown my back out doing different things like at CrossFit, and just, you know, through the years, whatever. I just had back issues basically. And so I noticed it started to get like really sore in my lower back while I was doing that. And I don't know if it was that, like the leaning over, or I had worked out that day. Maybe I pulled something weird, or maybe I was sitting, you know, for so long, putting pressure on my lower back, or I just did something really weird. I don't know, honestly, but I just remember waking up the next morning and it was hurting so bad. It was my lower, like low left side, and I don't know, it just hurt so bad. So that was like a rough point. And so I ended up going to the chiropractor like the next day after work, and they did an adjustment. I kind of told them like, hey, I don't know like what I did exactly. Like there was no like one point where I'm like, oh, ow, like I hurt my back. Like it just kind of happened throughout that day. And then that night when I was doing something, it kind of felt worse. Like whenever I would get up to walk, or I'd be sitting for a while and then I'd get up, or I'd move side to side in bed. I just noticed that it wasn't normal. Like it just happened, but there was no like one point where I was like, oh, that's exactly what caused it. I have no idea. So anyways, I went to the chiropractor, told him kind of what I thought might have happened just throughout that day. And of course I'm pregnant, so there's more like pressure and weight and all that in that general area. And so they just did what they could. Honestly, it didn't really help much, but at least I did get an adjustment. So the next few days, like I was just walking really slow, trying not to like bend a certain way, or if I was sitting when I was comfortable, I was trying not to move. If I was laying and I was comfortable, I was trying not to move. Like I was just trying to be super cautious, because at this point I've had no issues at all through the whole pregnancy with like any kind of like pain or like problems or anything like that. And so I don't know if it was anything to do with being pregnant, or if it's just me in general having a bad back. And like I said, I moved a certain way and I didn't realize it. It just kind of got worse over time. But I'm telling you, that was like the worst. Like it was really bad. Like I can take Tylenol and things like that. I can't take aspirin or anything that has, because it's a blood thinner and it'll raise your heart rate, but I can take just like regular Tylenol. So I did that a few times. I didn't want to, but I mean, I'm telling you, the pain was so bad. Like it was just bad. Just know that it was bad. Anyway, so that second half of the week was really rough. And I had already scheduled a breastfeeding class for that Saturday, so I almost just didn't want to go to it, but I did. I walked super slow up there where the class was, and I'm glad I did go, because it was really informational, and the same woman that taught it was the one that taught the newborn class. I think I went over the last video, but anyway, she was super nice. I kind of told her what happened. She asked me if I was okay. Like people were stopping me like all over the place, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Because I looked pregnant and I was walking like super slow, like, I mean, ridiculously slow, just because it's hard to walk sometimes. Like you don't realize it, but like when you're picking up your feet, like you're still using like muscles go up your legs and like up to your lower like back. It was like between my back and my butt area on my left side, it was just super just sensitive, and it just felt like this ache feeling. Anyway, so I went to the breastfeeding class, learned a lot, felt more confident about just breastfeeding in general, felt like I knew like a little bit more knowledge about it, and I'm glad that I went. So anyways, that's pretty much everything that happened in weeks 32 and 33. Like I said, week 32 was exciting because I had the growth ultrasound, which all went really well. And then week 33 started out really good, and then with my back, it kind of like, it was a rough week, I'm not gonna lie. Like I've had nothing but great times, but that was probably the hardest week I've had so far, was the second half of 33. But I'm not complaining. I know it could be a lot worse, and I'm just thankful that the baby's healthy, I'm healthy, and that it slowly started to kind of go away with time, I guess. So anyways, I hope that was helpful to you guys. I know nothing super exciting happened, but like I said, I'm documenting every week as best I can, whether it's exciting or not. So anyways, that was weeks 32 and 33. Hope you guys liked it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.